Two Wheels this week, Dave Coates explains how to do stunts, the penultimate leg of Madras to Manchester. Jeff rides a Motorco Z, and Wayne looks at some old scooters. Stunt riders, we've all seen them and been impressed with them, and like me probably, you've stood in the crowd and watched them and said, how the flipping heck does he do that? Well, I'm going to try and find out, because Dave Coates here is going to tell us how to do all these stunts. Wheelies, first of all, Dave. How do we do a wheelie?
Well, there's different ways of doing a wheelie, but the way I do it, I try to sort of get it in first or second gear, slip the clutch a bit, rev it, slip it at the same time, and get it to come up. Sometimes I just nick it straight into third gear, and then I start messing about, sort of getting it really high up and playing around with the back brake and whatever.
But it's sustaining it, doesn't it? I mean, you see lads pulling away from traffic lights and it wheel off the ground, back down, but you keeping it up and going for it.
Yeah.
So what's that? Is it finding a balance or what?
Yeah, it's finding out where it balances out at, and sometimes going past that and putting your back brake on to slow yourself down a bit and stop it from going right back over.
Yeah, because that's the fear, isn't it? You think, well, if I'm going up to a balance point and I get it wrong and I go too far back, I'm going to flip it. But you control that with the brake, do you? Yeah,
if it gets too high and you think it's going to go over, I mean, the first, your natural instinct is to take your feet off and bail out the back.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, if you stay there, put your back brake, just dab your back brake on, it'll come down faster than it's gone up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. No, I must explain that not for 1 minute are we advocating anyone try this, because Dave is a highly trained professional stunt rider and he works in controlled surroundings like this on proper race strips. Right, that's wheelies, so we'll all be trying that tomorrow now. What about stoppies? That's the other thing.
Stoppies, I think the main thing with the stoppie is to get your front tyre well warmed up so it's nice and sticky, and just generally get going at a reasonable amount of pace, and just gradually sort of put the brake on harder and harder and really squeeze it on. You can just feel the back end come up and get a bit light, and then you can, once you start coming off the ground, you can maybe control it a bit more.
Yeah, because I've noticed you don't sort of just go bang. It's a progression. Your forks are like compressed, aren't they, before the back end starts? Have you ever popped your fork seals out?
I've only ever done one fork seal, so I haven't done bad on fork seals.
Hey, where are you buying your fork seals from? That's what we all want to know. Right, the other thing that we see you and all the other stunt guys doing, burnouts. Getting the back tyre hot, lots of smoke. Yeah. What's the secret with that?
You can do that, you can try that two ways. You can sort of ride along in a straight line and just, again, gently put your front brake on as you try and rev the bike as well, and hopefully it'll light the back end up, get the back end spinning, and just control it as if you're just riding slowly, really. Yeah. Or you can sort of get it going with your feet on the floor, get it into a normal burnout, and then just gently try and put one foot on your peg, and try and get the other one up, and just try and ride it out.
Just let the front brake off a bit, innit?
Just generally let the front brake off.
What about the donuts going round? Because that looks particularly difficult.
Yeah, the donuts, once you get into doing a burnout in a straight line, a lot of the times the bike will tend to drift off to one side, and if you just follow it round and let it go where it wants to go at first, you'll end up doing a donut and getting smaller and smaller.
All right, I'm probably falling off. Yeah. Right. The other thing that you do, that I've seen other people do as well, is skiing off the back.
Yeah.
Right, you jump off the back, and you don't appear to have any kind of control of the throttle or the steering when you jump off the back. Is that the case?
Yeah, well, you've definitely got no control of the throttle, but you can, to a certain degree, pull it to one side and straighten it up if it tends to veer off to one side. You can pull it back. But then again, if you start skiing and then take your hands off there, you can't even do that.
Right. So what about the throttle though when you're skiing? Because I noticed your throttle on yours, it returns. So what do you do?
Well, what I do is I usually get into fifth gear, so it's you're going at a fair old rate, and just shut the throttle off, then shuffle myself back, grab all the grab rail, leap off the back. And,
it's getting back on that amazes me. How'd you get back on? I know you jump back on, but I mean...
Yeah, you're going too fast to push off with your feet. You've just got to sort of like spring up in the air and then pull yourself forward on the grab rail.
Have you ever not made it?
I've come close a few times.
You're completely mad. Well, brilliant. We will never cease to be impressed. And remember, as I said before, very important, Dave is highly trained, professional, and he does this for a living, apart from other things. What do you do for a living?
I have my own construction business as well, so...
So you're a builder?
Yeah.
So you can fix bikes?
Well, no.
Hopefully you won't have to. So there we are. Don't try this at home. Leave it to the experts.
We had been in Asia for over 8 months, but by crossing the short stretch of the Bosphorus Sea, we arrived in Europe to the great city of Constantinople, Istanbul.
Behind us is Asia, in front of us is Europe. The motorbike's on its last legs, or last wheels. We've got 4,000 kilometres before we can rest in Barcelona. We're just hoping that we can get back in 3 weeks. We've got £300 left.
The change was dramatic, from saris and shish kebabs to Levi's and McDonald's. Tourists cramming the streets buying trinkets and souvenirs, whilst we enjoyed the relaxation of clean hotels and good food.
We went to Asia now 8 months, and we used to be walking in the street, the people doing to us like clothes, very strange. Because in Iran, in Turkey, in Pakistan, the people, the tourists is very strange in there. So suddenly, crossing one ferry, 5 minutes, we are in Europe, Turkey.
After a well-deserved rest, we did the obligatory tours around mosques and museums and bazaars. But it couldn't last for long as our money was rapidly running out and Nuria was in desperate need of a cobbler. So after a week in Istanbul, we headed off for Nuria's home, Barcelona. The next part of the journey would take us through Greece, Italy, France and finally into Spain. With just one marathon day of driving, we crossed over into Greece, and the elation of reaching the border was quite evident.
Country number 5, country number 5. We got here, about 10 kilometres that way we had a puncture, just to slow us down a little bit. We've got through Turkey's over there, and we just came through a tunnel thing there which sprayed us in disinfectant to get away the smell of Asia.
With only £300 left, we had to make a dash for Spain, having no time to sit and sunbathe, just drive from dusk till dawn down the highways of southern Europe. We did stop at a famous monastery though, but unfortunately it was closed on the day that we arrived.
We are looking to take the ferry now to Italy, and then just 3 days more driving, and we are in home. It's got to be sad, I think.
Yeah, so Greece, what can I say about Greece? We were planning on staying here for at least a month, but we didn't really think how much it was going to cost, and it costs a bit more than we think. The hotels are about £15 a night. Minimum. So, looks like we're staying here for 4 days, basically just driving through.
After just 4 days, we arrived in Igoumitsa and took the ferry to Italy. Nuria was not looking forward to this new form of transport, as she suspected our cat's lives had run out. Little did she know that she would be right.
Will Roberts complete his mammoth trip? Find out next week. And after the break, Jeff rides a Motorco Z and Wayne looks at some very old scooters.
Now, street fighters to most people, you think of Suzuki Bandits, perhaps Ducati Monsters. Well, this is Motor Guzzi's version, the Centauro, or we'd more likely know it as a Centaur. You know, this was this half man, half beast, or half horse rather. Well, this isn't half horse. This in fact has got 92 brake horsepower because this has got the Daytona motor. 4-valve motor, fuel injected, hell of a lot of poke. But they've put this in this new nifty package. Very, very distinctive, swoopy back end. Look at the paintwork. Very attractive bike. Neat front end as well. It looks all aggressive, and I can't help actually liking it. It's unusual, so if you want to be different from the herd, this could be for you. There's that big distinctive lump though. This is perhaps what makes a Guzzi. No mistaking this one. All those big fins, still air-cooled of course. Look at these beefy front forks up front. Our friends the old Brembo calipers there. Nice big meaty discs, upside down forks, so fully adjustable at that. And it gives a nice aggressive sort of stance to it all. Coming back up here, these mirrors look very sort of custom-like. Almost Harley Davidson, dare I say, but they're not, and they work well. They're rubber mounted round here, so you don't get any vibes on them. In front of the handlebars, you've got this very neat little dash panel here. It looks a bit BMW Cruiser-like up there, but these nice white face clocks here with black numbers on, it all looks really neat. Everything lights up, everything works, and when you're sitting there, it's a really pleasant thing to present you with. So it's nice. Coming further back, this is unusual. Nice little seat. Look at that pad there, coming down to this sort of single seat that you think. But this tail pad here is in fact separate. It just slides off the top of the seat, so you have got a pillion seat there. But it looks very racy without it. Lifting up the seat, just take the key out. The lock's just down the side here, and it actually unlocks dead easy. There we go. Seat comes off. In here you've got your electronics, access to the battery, you've got your little toolkit in there. It's all very neatly laid out. That strap is when you are using it as a dual seat, you simply put that over the top of the seat. And this is the seat unit. You can see that little tail piece there. You just unbolt it there and leave it at home in the garage or the lounge or wherever you want to use leave your little bits of Motor Guzzi. So that's basically the nuts and bolts of it. One thing that I've got to give Guzzi credit for on this, if we just have a look around this side and I take the bike off its stand, it's got a very easily accessible prop stand. So I put my big boot on there, just flick it down, no groping for it. It really is very, very neat. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, all very well, but it's Italian. Unreliable. No, they're not anymore. And to prove the point, a 3-year warranty on this. Now you can't argue with that, can you? But even if you did argue with it, it's got 3 years of AA breakdown cover as well. So what's your problem? Maintenance-free shaft drive at the back. So this could well be your bike for the millennium. If heavy metal is your music, you'll rave over the Centauro. It's bold, it's brash and lumpy, and no compromise bike for those who dare to be different. It's got brutish, ballsy looks and goes in the same way. Sharing its 992 V-twin motor with the Daytona sports bike, it's not short of poke, but it really comes on song at around 5,000 revs, revving out to a red line at just over 8 grand. Up to 5 it feels less busy, as though it shouldn't be there, and quite right too. But despite that, you've still got 95 brake to play with, which is more than enough to blow the cobwebs away. For a big twin, it's remarkably smooth too, in a lumpy custard sort of way. No real vibes, but great gobs of power. It's lower geared than the Daytona, but the 5-speed box will still take you to 130 plus. The longest wheelbase has advantages in the stability department, especially on long, fast bends, and doesn't seem to work against it in the twisties either. Likewise, the white power suspension copes well with smooth roads, but bumps and ridges can catch out the rear shock. The frame is very taut, and even with the firm suspension you can still have a lot of fun hammering along. Somehow it all seems to be part of the feel of the bike. The riding position is different too. One-piece pull-back bars and slightly rear-set rests tip you nicely forward to counter the wind blast, neatly deflected by the small nose fairing. Brakes are typically belting Brembos and have no trouble in taming this 224 kilos of Italian stallion. This is not a bike for the faint-hearted. It's full of character and quirkiness, and at 8,250 it's also not for everyone. But then again, neither is heavy metal.
Land's End to John O'Groats. Would you want to go a Land's End, John O'Groats, on that little scooter? Yes, you wouldn't, would you? No way, and neither would I, but this barmy pillowcase did. Eric, what possessed you to go to Land's End, John O'Groats, on that thing?
Well, it was a rally. You know, they come from all over Great Britain to go on it, so it seemed a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. How long did it take you?
It took round about 4 days, but we did it like in gaps, but we could have got there a bit quicker because we got lost.
You got lost?
Yes.
What's with the wee bit, like? Are you suggesting somebody else got you lost?
Yeah, there was a Burmese person I were following, or should I say, who were following me.
Well, I know who you're blaming, and I'm going to ask him what he thinks about getting lost. Hang on a minute. So, come on then, Kev. Who's to blame here, then? Is it you or Eric? Who got who lost?
It's a long story, but when you get to the A30 coming out of Yeovil, you can go
Oh,
that
I know
way.
it well.
You go that way or that way. I thought because he went that way, he knew better than me where was going.
But you've been before, haven't you?
Oh, I've been before, yeah, but I just followed him.
Follow the leader, and neither of them know where the bloody hell they're going. Anyway, you do get about on these things, don't you?
Yeah, we've been all over the world. It's been to Italy last year. It's been to Switzerland. It's been to Austria. It's been to France.
Strike a line.
It never always made it under its own steam, though.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
We had certain problems here and there, but there's been some funny stories over the years.
I bet there has, and all.
But one way or another, it's always got there and back.
But you're part of a club, aren't you, an association?
Yeah, I'm the secretary of the Lambretta Club of Great Britain. It's our 45th year this year, and that was part of the reason to do the John O'Groats to Land's End.
Yeah.
Was we were celebrating the 45 years, like.
The fact that you're keeping these things running is amazing, and it's people like Eric, isn't it, that help out?
Eric and enthusiasts around the country. Majority of the scooter dealers are actual enthusiasts, and that makes them. They don't rip you off. They give you a nice price, do a good job, and they mean that I can then enjoy, and others can enjoy our hobby and get around the world on them. Like.
Well, I'm going to have a word with Eric. He's going to show me what he creates from these blinking boxes of rusty bits and pieces.
So
let's go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's go and have a word with Eric. I can't believe you're going to do anything with this rusty heap of scooter. Eric, surely you can't make that look anything like this.
Well, actually, this is a good one. I get them in a lot worse than this. This is quite good. But yeah, a couple of weeks on it, it'll be the same as that.
Flipping heck. But I mean, it's just rusty and horrible and missing bits. What about the bits? Where do you get all the bits from?
Oh, I've got plenty of bits that go about. A lot of them's original parts, but there's a lot of stuff now that you can get these days for these, what's remade, you know, so there's plenty. You know, you'll not get stuck.
No, you do surprise me. And where on earth do you get such as this from then? Where's it come from?
You can actually pick them up at auto jumbles, or you can pick them up out at old ladies' backyards, like. But some of them, what I do get hold of, are actually imports. You know, what's actually coming over from Italy. Like.
So, like the grey import in the world of motorcycling, you bring in the rusty import?
Well, I don't bring them in as such. I have fetched a few in, but what I do now is actually let somebody else go looking for them, and I get them off them.
Excellent, yeah. So, I mean, if I brought this now, I brought this into you, and I says, do something with this. I'd be very surprised that you can, but you're confident. You've obviously done this before. I brought this into you. What would it cost you to sort of do something with it and make it look as good as this? Because this is impressive.
It all depends on what sort of job you wanted. I mean, that's a metal flake spray job. I mean, that's a bit dearer than just the normal, like, cellulose paint, you know.
Yeah.
Roughly, this scooter done, it would probably cost you around about £1,000 to £1,500, depending what you wanted done on it.
It seems damn good value for money, because I can obviously see there's an awful lot of work to do. I don't suppose you're willing to show us what you do in your workshop?
Yeah, I'll take you around and you can have a good look. Yeah, no problem.
That'll do nicely. Come on then. Well, this is like the heart of the place, and this is the workshop where it all happens. And in fact, we've got Harry there looking for someone who's lost that screw again.
Found it.
Oh, he's found it. Oh no. Right then. So this thing, I mean, it's a state of disrepair or repair.
Yeah.
What was it? What will it be?
That'd be a scooter when it's done.
I know.
Yeah.
What I mean was, what make is it?
It's an SX150. Like I say, this is one of the imports what come in, and a bloke came in, loved it, wanted it restoring, so this is it, and it's being restored.
My God, to original state, like.
Yeah, as best as we can get it. You know, what it is, the guy who had it, like I say, he's retired now, and he's got a bit of money in his pocket, and he's thought, well, I'll relive my youth, like. So he's bought it. He wants me to do it in the same colours as what he had. He had an SX150 years ago, and it's going to be this colour, white, with the British racing green on the side panels.
Magic, just as he had days gone by,
he's putting crash bars on, the big extended exhaust, the full Monty mirrors.
I want to relive my youth, but when I've got out of it, I'm not actually out of it yet. But right, this one behind me now, this baby here, this looks a tad older. I mean, it does look a few years, this.
Yes, this is around about 1950. This is mine. I've actually bought this for myself.
And was that desperately bad?
Oh, this was pitiful. It was in a bad state when I bought it. In fact, it was that bad I got a bit of stick because I paid £200 for it, which might seem a bargain, but when I got it, like, it weren't, and I got a bit of stick over it. But now they see it, I can fire them back, because when it's done, it'll be probably worth over £2,000, but it won't be for sale because it's for my own collection.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
£2,000 though, my word. Collection, you got to put a display on, like?
Yeah, well, like this place, if you take notice, it is quite big. So I've got a lot of room at the back there doing nothing, so I'm just going to decorate the walls with Lambretta posters and that, and bang my own bikes in.
Excellent. If you like wanted to fill this place up with the ideal Lambrettas or whatever, what are you missing to sort of fill the package out perfect?
Well, the ideal scooter I've been looking for would be a Model A, which are like few and far between, because they're quite expensive, even though when they're in a bad state. You know, you're talking about £2,500 just for one what's really grotty.
Strike a light.
Yeah.
So, you folk out there, if you can find Eric a Model A, he wants one.
Yeah.
On Two Wheels next week, the final instalment of Madras to Manchester, and Wayne dons his parka to compare old and new scooters.